All right, today is the morning of the 19th. I think that's fifth day of the elk season. Gary and I packed it in yesterday morning and moved, pulled back in at a random spot and set up our camp. And realized Gary needs a wolf tag though. He's taken off to go to Cascade this morning to see if he can get a wolf tag. Should have done it yesterday while we came through McCall, but we forgot. At any rate, I'm heading up the hill, hiking up the hill. And there's a lot of sign. I'm probably, 3/4 of a mile from camp. Just working my way up. And wind's right, the sun's just coming up. And then I just saw this. So, I'm in the right neighborhood. There's a trail here. You can see that. It's back up through there. Anyway, it's covered in elk tracks and some deer tracks too. And a lot of elk tracks. So we'll see what the day holds. Beautiful country. It's about 9 o'clock, I think, on the first day here in this unit. And there's lots of sign and tracks. I haven't found any crap yet, but lots of tracks. And then there's a few things like this right here. That is this year's and probably last year's. Anyway, worked the heck out of that thing. Pretty good sized tree too. It's I don't know, 5 inches in diameter. Anyway, my hopes are high to see something here today. Well, it's about, I think it's pushing noon anyway. I'm on a ridge. It kind of flattened off. Looks like a great bedding area. I haven't seen any poop that's fresh at all, but lots of tracks. So if they're either just using this trail to get somewhere, or they were here a while ago and the tracks look fresher than they really are. Deer crap is, 6, 8, 10 weeks old, the stuff I've seen. I haven't seen any elk, and I mean any. And it's just kind of weird because there's dozens of sets of elk tracks. It seems like you come across a pile of scat somewhere. I did find this. I'd like to find the guy that did that, and that's this year's. There's the brown needle branches on the ground. Anyway, that's about the 4th or 5th rub I've seen. So there's sign in here. I'm up at about 7,000 feet now, probably, a mile and a half maybe from camp. Or maybe just, a mile and a quarter. Anyway, keep going. There's this trail that you can kind of see right there. It comes from back there. Goes right up this ridge. It's definitely been used by man in the past, but not for a really long time. There's one set of man tracks on it, I would say from archery, or maybe this summer, pretty old. But that trail is pretty well covered in elk tracks and deer tracks. Anyway, none of those look very old to me. I would say within the last week anyway, or less. You certainly ought to be seeing some kind of critter here before too long. Anyway, keep after it. There's a little rub there that I saw a minute ago. It's probably about the 5th one. Anyway, it's a beautiful area. It's nice that it flattened off a little bit. Kind of been on this little flat for, I don't know, maybe the last 300 or 400 yards. And I think it's going to pitch up again, but in fact, I know it is. But kind of nice thinking maybe something might bed in here on this flat. And I haven't jumped anything I know of. I certainly haven't seen anything. Okay, here's what I meant by evidence that this is an old trail by man. That tree has been cut off. When, who knows, but I just noticed also that that tree there has a cut on the end of it. And, but it's very, very seldom as you walk along here. In fact, you can hardly even tell it's a trail. It's not very often, maybe every 50 yards, 80 yards, you see something like that that's cut. And who knows how long ago. From the looks of it, quite a while. I haven't seen anything that was remotely fresh. In fact, that right there looks like the freshest thing I've seen. The further I go, the more rototilled this trail becomes. Not everywhere. Hell, I lose it sometimes. The further I go, the more rototilled this trail becomes. It's not every place because I lose it once in a while. I mean, like, you get to a spot and you can't tell where it goes. Kind of keep working your way along and you pick it up again. But right here, it's just ripped. And that sign looks really fresh. I can't imagine not seeing an animal at some point today. Okay, well, another rub. This one looks even fresher because the limbs on the ground are actually still green. I'm seeing more and more and more rubs, more and more tracks, kind of the further I go, so keeping my interest anyway. I think I have to be in the right neighborhood anyway. Okay, so it's 1:30, and it's hot. I'm down to just a t-shirt and a Hex, and kind of wishing I didn't even have the t-shirt. Anyway, lips are chapped. I can't seem to drink enough water. I keep running into this. Every square inch of this ground up here has an elk track in it. So they've been here. I don't know if it's a night. I still have not seen one pile of elk crap, which blows my mind. I don't know how you can have, 20 rubs so far today, probably. And 2 million tracks. And no shit. Anyway, so no poop. Keep moving up. The more I move, the higher I move, the more sign I see. I'm at about 7250 or something. Just over 72 anyway. I would think maybe I'd find a bull bedded up here on this ridge, but it's pretty warm. So he's probably down in some dark, cool hole. And not up on this ridge anyway. They've obviously using these to travel because, man, are there tracks on them. Just not today. We are looking for a weather change in a couple days, and that may change things. So, all right. Okay. Please explain to me how you can have a sign like this I'm about to show you and not see a pile of elk crap all day long. is what the tracks have been like, what the sign has been all day. Yeah, kind of hit and miss, but a good part of it. Come across that. I will say that the vast majority of these tracks are headed downhill, which is kind of interesting. I don't know exactly what that means. I would say 95% are headed downhill. Anyway, that's kind of not normal. Well, post-lunch update. Still running into rubs, tracks. Starting to see a little bit of scat, but old. I don't know what to think. Well, it's about 4 o'clock or so. I made it up to around 7,200, 7,300 feet. And Gary made it, I don't know, fairly close to that. I pulled around, hooked around toward him, and I'm on the ridge across from him. He's over there. You can kind of see that mixed sparse timber maybe. He's going through it right now, down below me, probably right through about right there somewhere. Anyway, camp is back that way, and we're working our way that direction. Neither one of us has seen, heard really much of anything. I did hear something down in there. It was quite a while before Gary got there. I don't know, it might have just been a tree falling over or something. I'm not sure. Sounded elky, but who knows. Anyway, that's it for the moment. Well, good morning. It's the, today's Sunday, 23rd. And some things have happened, obviously. Look around. We got a little snow last day or two. We had a weather change. So let's see. Last week, Wednesday, we hunted, and then Thursday, we rode four-wheelers around. Just locally here, trying to kind of figure it out. And then just talked to the guys, and everybody was saying, just got to wait for the weather to change. So Friday morning, I was going to go back up in here and got up pretty early. Woke up, just slept enough, about 5 o'clock probably. And Gary said his back was really bothering him bad. And I thought about it a while, and the weather was still like severe clear, like nothing, just hot. Change was supposed to come in Friday night. And so I said, well, I'm going to drive and see if I can find a deer in the, what we noticed when we were a couple times when we kind of came and went was that had a whitetail crossing the road in front of us. And I thought, well, maybe if I could just get just inside. And it's kind of it's a flat, kind of marshy sort of bottom on a creek, pretty close to the road, actually. And I thought that'd be a good place to go. So anyway, I drove and parked along. Just as soon as I was inside the unit, there was a spot on the right there, and tucked back in there and parked, got my gear together and took off. And there's deer sign in there, tons of it. Old, fresh, new, small, big. No elk sign. I don't see any elk sign. Or old, maybe. But at any rate, I kind of hunted that marshy bottom stuff, and then eventually I sort of went up on the hill. Kind of picks up the hill, and it was kind of open, mixed, pretty nice stuff. And hunted around up there and didn't see anything. And finally about, 3:30, 4 o'clock, I decided I better turn and kind of head back and try to get back. I mean, it's a 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive to get 2 hours anyway, to get from there to back to camp. Anyway, I just started down the hill, and I don't know, I'd gone a ways, and it was kind of these foldy little draws, and I came over the top of a foldy little draw, and there's a buck standing down below me about, I don't know, maybe 80 yards, and he has no idea I'm there. And it's not a whitetail, it's a decent mule deer. However, I forgot to mention is that morning when I left my phone plugged in to the generator at the hooch, and I forgot my phone. So I have no video, no pictures, no anything. Anyway, I killed that buck, and one shot, I hit him a little bit back and blew up the liver. I salvaged half the liver. I got to looking at where I killed him, and I was only like 3/4 of a mile to the truck, and or 8/10 or something. So I was able to bone him out, or not bone him out, but gutless method, and I carried a back ham and a front shoulder in the head out on the first pack with my Onyx, or not Onyx, XO pack, and it was heavy, but I got back to the truck with that. Then I just turned around and went right back in. I got the other front shoulder ham, back ham, tenderloins and backstrap, and I took some of the loose meat the first time, neck meat stuff. So it was heavy, but it was basically downhill and then across this flat, and the flat wasn't too far. So anyway, I got back to the truck probably about 9. It was way after dark for sure, maybe 9:30. I don't remember exactly. I know I got back to camp here with Gary at the hooch like midnight, or just like a little after midnight, and Gary knew something had happened because I was pretty late getting back. At any rate, he helped me clean it up a little bit that night, and then yesterday, well, actually that night it started raining. Like, actually started raining while I was dealing with that deer on the hill. Pretty good rain, actually. But luckily I was kind of under this tree. It wasn't too bad. And anyway, I got it down to the truck, and got it here, and it was still raining. So we pulled the table in underneath the tarp of the hooch, and cleaned up the loose meat mostly. And then there was a meat pole at the camp already, so we hung it there Friday night. And then yesterday morning, it was kind of shitty, raining, mixed snow stuff you can see here, but the snow came later, but it wasn't really sticking snow. It was kind of just mixed, nasty, wet stuff that, anyway, Gary's back was still bothering him a little bit, but he was doing okay, feeling better. And now my back's sore, carrying that deer, I think. At any rate, we yesterday morning cleaned that up, did a bunch of camp chores, laundry stuff, ran into Cascade, went to the grocery store. I bought a wolf tag. Then we took a drive up. It's called Gold Fork River or somewhere, and looked around in there and didn't really see anything. But anyway, it was kind of spitting snow and nasty. And this morning, it's kind of crazy, weird sky. You can see it up there. It's mixed blue sky, little clouds. It was just snowing on me a second ago. It's kind of stopped snowing now, but a few little flakes coming down. Anyway, we got ourselves together this morning and thought we would go hunt morning for a few hours and just see if we saw any tracks or sign or anything fresh in the snow, or they're up moving, because I don't think they've been moving much the last day or two with this weather. I don't know, but I don't think so. They're pretty nasty, windy and rainy and shitty, and it's just kind of the first day it's broke, so a lot of times, they're out moving around as soon as it breaks. So anyway, we're just heading into the woods here. It's about 8 o'clock, I think. It's sun's not up, but it's definitely daylight, and I'm just kind of getting going here. Gary took the four-wheeler up the road and is hiking up up onto that ridge where he's been going. So I guess that's the update. I'll try not to forget my phone from now on. Okay. Kind of a cool little shot. The sun coming through right over there, and you can see it's snowing. And if you look to the west, there ain't a cloud in the sky. And they're just right on the edge of this little gray snowstorm you can see right over there to the east. Anyway, I thought it was kind of cool. It's very brisk this morning, I'd say 20 degrees probably. Good day to be elk hunting. I just had a cow elk come out just above me. I was right at the end of the road. And she came out above me, spun. Didn't really bug her too bad, but she didn't see me. She winded me. I puffed my bottle and I was going right to her. And I don't know if there's anything else with her, but just one young cow, it looked like. And I suspect there may have been some more. I didn't hear anything much. It was pretty quiet. So I crossed the draw to the other side where I can look back up into that right there. And I saw her kind of up about halfway up maybe when I saw her. It's been a little while ago now. Anyway, good to see something in the woods. If you hadn't noticed, I'm hunting with glasses this year. And when they're not fogged up, which they kind of are right now, I can see much better. But I'd give it a 0 on a 10 scale of things I enjoy doing. Hunting with glasses sucks, particularly in this weather where it's cold. The minute you start to sweat just a tiny bit, they fog up. And I don't care much cat crap, anti-fog spray bullshit. It works a little bit, but not much. Mostly you just gotta stop and not sweat at all, which is hard to do when you're elk hunting. Climbing thousands of vertical feet. But if you want to be able to see anything, that's the trade-off. So anyway, I saw a cow. It's good. It's a good start. And it's, I don't know what time it is, probably about 10 o'clock. So I'm going to climb this ridge behind me. Doesn't look like much from here, but it goes up quite a ways further than what you can see behind me here. Behind me here is just a little hump, and then it picks up. At any rate, I should be able to reach Gary on the radio. He called me earlier and told me he had a bull glunking at him way down below him somewhere, and I haven't heard from him since, so I don't know what's going on. We tried to contact each other, but all we could hear was static, so I'll get on top. I'll be able to reach him. All right, it's the 12:20 or something update. Found a spot up here, tucked up against this burnt stump. Anyway, sitting here having a bite of burrito. And I'm spitting snow a little bit. I'm watching that ridge over there, or this side of it, where I can see into the trees, about 600 yards, most of it. Anyway, Gary's on that ridge, but he's up that way, quite a ways. And he called me on the radio earlier once I got to the top of this ridge where we could talk to each other. Said he had a bull glunking at him down below. Over on the other side. I never heard it, but I was a long ways away. And I was looking on the backside across. I could see into a little bit of stuff again, about 600 yards. And I was glassing a little opening, and I realized there's a mule deer standing in the middle of it. And a mule deer at 650 yards is pretty small. I could tell it was a little buck, and I couldn't tell how big, but it looked like a forked horn, but maybe a little bigger. I'm not sure. I was going to get my rifle scope cranked up on him, but he kind of moved off into the bushes, and I lost him. Anyway, saw a cow earlier this morning. That was kind of cool. And a little buck. Otherwise, been pretty quiet. There's some tracks, deer tracks, fresh deer tracks in the snow on this ridge, but no fresh elk tracks, which is interesting. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do except for finish this burrito. I'm sure of that. Okay, well, I was just sitting there finishing that burrito, looking at my Onyx a little bit, and I heard something up the ridge from me. Sounded like elk. I couldn't tell which way they went. I just heard brush crunch and crack. So I threw my pack on real quick. I wasn't in a place where I could see up the ridge very far. I could see across, but anyway, I threw my pack on real quick, my rifle on, and I probably went about 50 yards to a spot I could see in, and I heard them coming. They happened to be 4 cows or 3 cows and a calf heading right straight toward me, and the wind was in my face. Just as I saw movement, I just knelt down, and I could see all 4 of them. Rifle up, easy shot on any bull, but no bulls. Even a calf was a cow. At any rate, they came within about 30 feet of me. The lead cow finally boogered a little bit and got off to the side and was looking at me and didn't like the looks of me, but she couldn't smell me, so she didn't know what to think. And the cow behind her was actually quite a bit bigger. And I was kneeling in a really uncomfortable position. And after about probably, 2 minutes, I could tell there wasn't anything else behind them. I figured I'd have seen it by then, and I could see a little ways behind them. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. So I finally moved a little bit, and they boogered, but they didn't just tear out of here. They just peeled off the edge of the ridge, and then I saw them hook underneath me, keep going the way they were going. So anyway, I'm working my way up the ridge now, and if you look careful here, you can actually see their track where they knocked the snow off the brush. You can clear up there where they came down through here, and this is probably about where they were when I heard them first time. So there's some elk moving around. Just need to find one with some antlers on him, and they'll hold still for a minute. Might happen, we'll see. Okay, so about 3 o'clock. I haven't seen anything more till just now. But this ridge that I was on, I got up to kind of a high point where I could see across to Gary's side really good. And Gary said he was on a bull track that dipped down on this side and was coming back toward me. And I got to a spot where I could see across. It's at least 600, 700, 800 yards across to the top of the ridge. And the very bottom closest point's about 430. Anyway, I can see pretty decently over there. Kind of mixed in between the trees. Anyway, he was kind of moving this way, moving this way, moving this way. He said they were just walking. And all of a sudden I see a cow and calf squirt across, right, trying to trot. He jumped him, I think. And anyway, it was not a bull track. It was a cow and calf track, I think. But it's hard to tell because there's not very much snow. It's just kind of scuffs in the snow. Even the elk I saw walk over and look at their tracks and go, you really can't tell, particularly if they're trotting. They're not leaving very clear tracks. So I'm going to finish a little snack, keep heading up this ridge. I think I'll hook around and come down the way I went up the other day. I don't think I'll go quite as high if I can avoid it. But at any rate, that's the plan. All right, well, it's 5 o'clock or almost. I haven't seen anything more since that cow and calf that Gary bumped. And I peeled off the north side of that ridge, dropped down, crossed creek bottom, which sucked, and pulled up the other side. And you can kind of see it. See it better looking back the other way. Anyway, I had a track of, I don't know, it looks like maybe 4 or 5 elk in the snow fresh, heading west. And I need to be going east. But I thought I'd follow them for a little ways. And they're pulling up to the west, up onto this main ridge, I'd say. So I'll just switch back up onto that ridge and head back to the east, back down at 5 o'clock. I don't have time to chase these all day, but there ain't much a day left. But I might run into something on my way. I'm still back up in here quite a ways, probably better part of 2 miles, I'd say. All right, 5 o'clock update. Okay, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's a ridge over there, right down, goes down like that. I peeled off probably about right there, came across here, across the bottom, came up underneath me, hit these tracks I'm on. And I'm kind of heading back to the west into the head of this little basin. And I'm only going to follow these another, I don't know, not very far. And then I got to peel up that way to get to the top of the ridge that I can walk, for the most part, back out of here. Anyway, that's the plan. Okay, well, it's about 10 after 5, and I broke off those elk tracks and hooked up to the top. They actually pretty much took me to the top of a little saddle. And I think I understand why maybe these elk are running around when they're not jumped, really. There you go. That is a wolf track. That is a fresh wolf track. Well, you can see I broke off of that set elk tracks, and they pretty well led me up into this little saddle, and I'm up on top of the ridge now. Pretty nice. It's about 10 after 5, so I'll start walking this ridge out. And anyway, I'm glad I stopped and got a wolf tag yesterday, because I think I also understand why these critters are pretty jumpy. That is a fresh wolf track, and it is probably 4 inches long. 4 inches from toenails to heel. Pretty good sized dog. I actually hope I run into him. I'd like to introduce him to Mr. 7mm. Anyway, gotta get moving here. Okay, I went about 20 feet from the last video, and there are, I don't know, I crossed another set, probably 6, maybe, sets of wolf tracks. They're kind of all over in here, and they're going primarily the direction I am. They kind of mixed around in here, but for the most part they are going that way. And there's something one of them dug up, or I don't know. Anyway, they're pretty damn fresh. Looks like there might be a little bit of that little popcorn snow that fell this afternoon in them. It's kind of hard to tell. Might have just fallen in. At any rate, there's some odd tracks in here too. There might be a bear. I don't know what that is. think it's a bear track that they've walked in. I think that's what that is. It looks like a bear track that the wolf tracks have walked in. Anyway, I'm going to turn the phone off and get my gun ready because there's at least 6 or 8 of them here. And at any rate, I'm going to make every shot count. Okay, so those of you with a sensitive stomach might turn away, but here is a fresh wolf shit. And I mean fresh. I'm not going to feel it to see if it's warm, but it's today's, I guarantee it. It looks like it's full of some kind of hair. Anyway, I'm still following their tracks. It's probably about 5:25 maybe. Okay, so actually found where those wolves had bedded, if you can tell. Anyway, they'd bedded during the day, and as I was walking up this ridge, I saw the tail of one just flash. And then I looked up and saw this one looking at me, and I really didn't mean to shoot it in the face, but I did. Anyway, pretty well destroyed him. He didn't, he just flopped down dead. Look at the damn teeth in that thing. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm gonna try to pack it out of here. Okay, so I am shooting a little video as I'm walking. As you can see, there are still a buttload of wolf tracks up here. I mean, they're coming in and out. There must be a total of at least 15. I don't know, 12 maybe. Obviously the ones I ran into, I would say there were probably three for sure, because I saw 3. I saw the tail of the first one just flash, and then I actually put my binoculars up and look, and I could see this one that I shot looking at me, and I could tell it was for sure a wolf. It was just looking my direction. I don't think it saw me. Anyway, I got the rifle up and drilled him, headshot. 7 mag likes the headshot. Anyway, and then as soon as I shot, I saw another one bail off over the hill. But, you know, I've gone maybe 200 yards. I've got the wolf. I took a garbage bag that I had in my pack and stuck him inside of it. Note to self, bring beefier garbage bags. At any rate, it's not made to stick a wolf in. There's some fresh elk tracks, I think. At any rate, make sure I'm going the right direction here. I think I need to go this way. Anyway, I got the whole wolf in there, and I cinched it up with some rope, and got it on my meat shelf. And it's actually pretty comfortable. If I didn't have to go uphill very much, which I don't think I do really. I gotta check Onyx here and see where the hell I'm going. Okay. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can and not waste daylight. I'm not usually nervous in the woods, but 12 or 15 sets of wolf tracks. That's more ammunition than I have. So, yeah, I'd like to get out of here. Trying to get a shot of that wolf is in that garbage bag. And luckily my pack is fairly empty. I'm wearing everything I own. And I'm dropping off this finger pretty hard. I don't remember coming up anything quite this steep, but I probably did. Anyway, it's the right finger. And I'm in elk tracks that are, I don't know, they're today's. That are walking, looks like 2 sets. Like 2 big sets, at any rate. We're heading down this trail on this ridge top, and thankfully I have left the wolf tracks behind. So far I haven't seen them for a couple hundred yards anyway. So it's steep as hell. If you can appreciate just quite how steep this is. Probably better put the phone away. Luckily there's a little bit of a trail, and this pack carries way better than a pack frame, to be honest. I will give the XO boys 2 thumbs up, and I'll buy every one of them a beer if they'll let me. So I'm appreciating their equipment at the moment. I don't know what this wolf weighs, but probably I bet 90 pounds, and it feels better than any pack frame I've ever carried. Even that half a deer the other day felt good too. So I might throw that damn pack frame away. Okay, well, it's about 6:30. Still light. It's fading. I'm gonna have to get the headlamp out before too long. I'm gonna keep moving here, but Gary is an extremely good estimator of weight. When he lifts a bag or lifts something, he's usually just within. Hang on. Okay, that sucked. Whew. I'm back on my feet though. A little limb I slipped on. Anyway, as I was saying, Gary is an exceptionally good estimator of weight. I think it's from years of picking up bags of grout and cement and, at any rate, stuff out of his garden. I don't know. He's really good at it. So I'm going to say my guess on this wolf is about 80 pounds. And its guts, tail feathers, and everything, except for it did bleed out quite a bit. At any rate, I'm going to have him guess it when we get back. But an 80-pound pack inside or strapped to the meat shelf on this XO 4800. Yes, I'm coming downhill. It's steep. It's uphill in places along this ridge, and I got to drop off. So it's not a horrible pack. It's probably about 2 miles, I'd say, to the road that camp is on. And then the camp is, I don't know, a couple tents down the road, maybe. So I don't know, it's around 2 miles back to camp. And I think I am. Well, when I drop off this ridge, I will drop down, and there's a bunch of elk tracks. Okay, well, that's nice. At any rate, I'm going to drop down off this ridge. I'm following the ridge down, and at some point I'll peel off to the right and drop down and catch the end of this closed road that you can walk in on. You can walk in 8 tents on it from the main road. So I'll catch it and walk out that way. That's how I came in. At any rate, I came in, but I took a different right, crossed a creek and took a different ridge. But I think I'm going to shut this off and actually hunt my way out of here, because I am suddenly into a lot of elk tracks. A lot. So still have about, I don't know, 20 minutes, half hour shooting light. Never know, wouldn't that be something? Hell, it's pretty dark. I finally hit the road. I think I got about 8 tents to go. Back to camp, maybe a mile. Pack's starting to get heavy now. I've been walking steady, and it's not totally dark yet. I mean, I don't need a headlamp quite yet, but it's close. And I'm going to just keep moving. All right, so Gary got himself a shot